And good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Heart Talk call. Today is, believe it or not, June 25th in the year 2019. Can you believe half the year, more than half the year is gone already? And I don't know about you, but I'm still getting used to writing 2019, and before you know it, they're going to change it on us again. But anyway, today is the 25th day of June in the year 2019. So I guess we'll take what we got, right? Anyway, my name is Sue Ellen Dickinson, and I will be with you as your host for the next hour or so. Great, lively conversation ahead. I can feel the energy in the room, so to speak, the room being the entire universe today, which is a beautiful thing. But anyway, let me remind you that Heart Talk is so much more than just an ordinary call. And why is that? Well, because this is where you can speak your mind straight from your heart. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing today. And Heart Talk is brought to you by The Essentials. And what are the Essentials, you might ask? Well, in case you don't know, they are an amazing nutritional supplemental product that has been designed, created, made by our very own Dr. Rudy Cartwright. In case you don't know who Dr. Rudy Cartwright is, he is a very well-renowned neurosurgeon. That's a brain surgeon, of course. And he also is an expert in nothing short of multiple sclerosis. How about that? A brain surgeon that's an expert in MS. Whoa, does it get any better than that? I don't know about you, but I don't think so. Anyway,
Today here in Nebraska.
There you are.
There she is. Good morning, Jay. Good morning.
Good morning. Hang tight,
right now.
We'll get to you in a sec, all right? Let me just tell everybody about the Essentials, because Dr. Cartwright has made these to help get rid of fatigue, to help stop your pain, tingling, and numbness, to help with vision problems and balance, and also your brain fog. Yes, you can take them with your current medications. And yes, they are all made up of nothing but the finest of natural ingredients. So, hey, if you're looking at maybe get some of your energy back that you've lost along the way, and, well, with this MS thing, who hasn't, you might want to consider picking yourself up a bottle of these Essentials because, hey, what have you got to lose? You've probably tried everything else under the sun, right? And how's that working out for you? Anyway, these Essentials are helping people a lot. They are helping people to feel better, one less symptom at a time. So, like I said, what have you got? What in the world do you have to lose to give these a try? A little bit of a symptom, or maybe a symptom or two. Yeah, there you go. I'll leave that decision to you. But how do you get them? Great question. When we're done here, I'm going to be shooting you an email. There will be the replay link, as always, in the email, so you can re-listen to this and share it with family and friends. Also, scroll down about halfway in that email, and you will see capital letters, Get Dr. Cartwright's Products. Click on that link to get to open up the Essentials. You will see a lot of information, more than I have time to tell you right now about the Essentials, including the list of ingredients. So keep your eyes peeled for that email. Go straight down there to the replay for the link to re-listen to this, and also for a link to the Essentials. Click on that, pick yourself up a bottle. I know you're going to be glad you did. And as always, any questions, shoot me an email at suellendickinson@gmail.com. So, without any further ado, Dave, where did you come from? I thought you were physical therapy.
I am at physical therapy. They're kind of short-staffed, so I'm just waiting for my turn. I got to run to the restroom and go figure.
Well, not before we welcome you. I had just told everybody that you weren't going to be here, and they said,
well,
wait.
I just decided to pop in and say hello, and I got to say goodbye because I got to get moving.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, sweetheart.
Bye.
Stay in touch. All right.
Love you.
Glad to hear your voice.
Love you,
Bye.
too.
Love you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye, honey. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right. Well, there she goes. Dave McCartney in Nebraska. There she goes. Glad she could pop in. That's a wonderful thing. Good. All right. Well, where are we? My goodness, so much is going on in the world. So much is happening. As usual, the weather is upside down and changing and anything like that. And we've got a lot to talk about today. But before we do, let me just open it up real quick if anybody wants to tell us anything that's going on in your neck of the woods, like with the weather or anything that's different that's happening. I know, I don't know, do we have Sherry on the phone yet? Is Sherry with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, that is you. Thank you for your emails. I did not answer you yesterday. I'm sorry. I got distracted. But Sherry, guys, has been sending me updates on the weather and where she is. And I know, Sherry, I hate to tell you this, but you've got some more bad stuff coming your way in the coming days. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. But, yeah, I figured you were. But anyway, does anybody want to give us a little update on anything or what before we get into the meat and potatoes of what we're going to talk about today?
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
I do.
Sunday?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
Thursday, that's when I get that test done for that Baclofen pump this week, Thursday.
All right.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'll be able to tell you all about it.
Tell us all about it. Okay, there was somebody else in there. Did you want to say, was this like a weather update? Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, Sunday when I was coming home, just out of nowhere, we had got a text, and it was my, I call her my big sister. Her daughter said, stop wherever you are, pull over, and don't come home because the weather is bad. And I'm like, so we're supposed to stop in the middle of nowhere?
She said, don't come home?
Be gone.
Let me understand. Yes. Did she say, do not come home?
She said, do not come home because we've got a round of bad weather coming. And I'm like, well, we're still too far out. It'll pass by the time we get there. Mm-hmm. Well, as I called home to check how the weather was here, because she lives in Abilene, which is 41 miles north of me. I'm north of her, I should say. And we would hit Abilene before we would me. So I called home, and I'm checking on the weather, and my son was like, Mom, hold on. And so he put me on hold for a few minutes. He was like, let me FaceTime you. And I was like, okay, because I'm not driving. And when he FaceTimed me, it was like boom, 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 and just hearing it and rain coming down just out of nowhere. Hail started coming. So we did get a little bit of hail damage to the vehicles and stuff like that, and some people might have got some to the house, but we had golf ball size hail just come out of a cloud from nowhere. And I was like, praise God, I was not at home when it happened, but, my son was. And this is the crazy thing. He said about 25 minutes prior to that storm, he had just walked home from work because he likes to walk to work. He doesn't like to drive really. And I said, if you would have waited any longer, you would have been caught right in that storm. He said, I know, thank God. And I'm like, thank God. So it came down for us, and we missed it, but yeah, they got, it was just out of nowhere, just one cloud. And I was like,
really?
Hey, yes. And I said, that's weird. And so today I get a weather report saying that we're clear for today, but, anything could change, of course. So as we were, as I got home and everything, I look, and then where we left from, South Padre Island, it said they were receiving bad weather. I'm like, praise God, we missed it all around because we could have got caught up there in their storm.
God was looking after you.
God. Yes, God was looking after me. And so we just really had a really grand time. I mean, it was so much fun. Everybody was friendly. We got to be at the beach and stuff and play in the water, but it was real choppy weather, so we didn't get too far out. But we had a nice time relaxing and things like that.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, that was quite an adventure that you had. So I'm glad you did. I'm glad it all went very well, and I'm also very glad you did not experience that. But are you guys seeing some of the pictures that are now coming out about the Midwest section of this country? And I don't know what's going on up there in your neck of the woods, Heather and Virginia, other than we're not even getting any updated information on those fires or anything. I don't know, but are you all seeing what's happened? I mean, picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So, are you seeing what's happening to the fields? This is getting really serious. as far as farmers cannot plant or whatever is in the ground crop-wise that is coming up is just ridiculously in bad shape. I mean,
are you talking about Canada?
No, I'm talking about the United States. Right now I'm talking about the U.S., the midsection, the bread basket of the mid. No, I was saying I don't know. I haven't seen any updates or any recent information on Canada. But this is happening in the U.S. And, what we're talking about food, I think people, when I say people, I'm really referring to the mainstream media right now. They're waking up to the fact that, oh, my gosh, this really is a lot more serious than we had any idea. Because, farmers grow what we eat. And right now they can't grow anything. So I'm just kind of bringing it up, putting that out on the table, no pun intended, but see if anybody wants to, grab onto that or, if not, we'll just keep on going.
Well, what I'm going to say about it. You know what I'm going to say? It's the Bible being fulfilled. Okay, that's what I see.
Can't hear you, Marion. Speak up, dear. Speak up.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I said, well, you know what I think about it. It's just being the Bible being fulfilled, what God said was going to happen when we're in the last days, and we surely in them.
Oh, yeah.
And that anybody don't believe it, I feel sorry for them, okay?
Well, yeah, I agree with you. Was that you, Toretta? Did you have something to comment?
Yes. I was looking at the Canadian fires.
Yeah.
And it's just basically saying that Vancouver crews with the BC Wildfire Services are battling another small but worrisome blaze on the province's south coast. The fire was reported Monday afternoon on Cecil Hill near Pender Harbor on the Sechelt Peninsula.
Yeah, that's in British Columbia.
Okay, that's what BC means. Okay, thank you. I was trying to figure out. Don't say BC.
That's a province.
That's what that means. Yeah.
Pender Harbor, is not Pender Harbor on the island?
I don't know. I
kind of think it is.
Okay, so then. Okay, so it's not BC then.
It's
still BC, but on the island.
Okay, I'm not that familiar.
Sechelt Peninsula. Yeah. Am I saying that right? But it's not threatening any homes. It's just scorched. Let me see. But it has now scorched more than 2 squares of hectares of bush and is not listed as contained.
Well,
they're trying to find out what the cause is.
Keep that contained, yeah.
Oh, man.
All right. Anybody else have a comment on the weather or crazy climate conditions where they are? Anybody? Okay. Well, we can always come back to that at the end of the program. But you know what? I wanted to. I found this article. It's really fascinating. I don't know how many of you opened my email and read it. I know a couple of you did, but this is a very, to me, okay, and I'm speaking from past personal experience when I say this, and I'll read it to you and let me know what you think, but to me it's a very touchy, very delicate, very touchy subject, and I'll tell you why, okay, because it is the little things that count. That's what they say. It's the little things that count, they say. And you know what? They're right. Because it's the little things that accumulate and add up to become the bigger things in life. And those unsung little things, they carry a very heavy burden of importance and responsibility with them because they can directly influence our self-confidence, pardon me, our self-image, and ultimately our sense of self-worth like nothing else can. See, it's the little things like the offering of a simple casual invitation that can set the tone of our day and influence how we feel about ourselves and other people too. There's a much greater hidden significance to these little things that will grow up to become the bigger things in life. But unfortunately, they're oftentimes overlooked. Well, Devin Garlit to the rescue again, because Devin knows all about this from the harsh realities of his very own firsthand experiences when he talks about the little things becoming the big things in life. And he's going to tell us all about it in this article I'm about to read to you that he called The Importance of an Invitation. And there are many layers to this. There are many colors to this. So I want you to listen carefully, which I know you will, and I want you to give me your opinion and any experience you might have along these lines when I'm done. Sip of my juice. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm going to read this to you right now. Here's Devin. The importance of an invitation. For many people battling a chronic illness like multiple sclerosis, social opportunities become increasingly difficult to attend. This can become especially problematic in the warmer months, as many of those with MS suffer from some form of heat intolerance, or during the holidays when larger gatherings and travel prove problematic. Friends and family begin to realize that we either have to cancel our plans at the last minute or simply outright decline many of the invitations we get. And eventually, we're forced to continually be unable to attend functions. The invitations, well, they can start drying up. And this can be disastrous for somebody with a chronic illness. No one feels worse about not leaving the house than us. Trust me when I say I wish I could be at every single event my friends and family have. I even crave it because I can attend so rarely. But when your body forces you out of action so much, even attending events that would previously seem annoying becomes a coveted activity. Now, I'm sure there are many times where it feels like we're simply blowing you off, like we're not interested and we're making excuses. But I assure you, that is not the case. If I say something and it sounds like an excuse, that's only because I'm embarrassed to, once again, explain that my body is failing me, that some symptoms suddenly increased, maybe even because I was excited to be joining you, because, happy stress can be difficult for us too. But let's face it, anytime you have to constantly give the reason behind anything negative, you begin to feel that it's unbelievable. And while your activity will no doubt go on without us, we're left yet again at home feeling disappointed. Our sadness isn't only because we can't attend, it's also because we feel we've let you down. And whether we always show it or not, we're all very aware of how much of an inconvenience our illness can be on other people. Feelings like you're disappointing others when you have no real way of controlling it is an extremely hard thing to live with. And this is especially so when you have a lot of time to sit around and overthink it. Those feelings of disappointment are made worse when we're made more aware of what we see as our shortcomings. Off-the-cuff remarks about our attendance history is certainly one way to make us feel even worse than we already do feel. Another way is to simply stop inviting us. And even though we know we likely can't attend, to not get an invitation can be devastating. It can make us feel discarded and less like human beings. I get there are some events that I'm probably going to always decline or cancel on, like sitting on the beach on a sunny 100-degree day is definitely one of them. My heat intolerance, by the way, is so bad, I can safely say it's pretty much worse situation for my body, and I'm honestly not sure I'm going to live through it. But that doesn't mean I don't want to feel included. While it took some time to understand, a lot of my friends seem to know this. Even though acknowledging the issues I might have, I know it's really hot out, or I know it might be a bit loud, and even giving an option for later, like saying, hey, we're hitting the beach, but if you want to come by the house later when it's cooler, being at least given the option is important. Yes, I might feel a little bad about declining, but it's much better than never being asked. I know my body has a few limits, but they're so much easier to live with when you acknowledge them. I probably can't come, but you know why? You wish I could, and you understand. If there's one thing we all wish we had, well, it's more understanding. If you have a friend with MS or another chronic illness, please don't stop inviting them. So thanks, Devin. Yeah. I can relate. I remember. Listen, I'm symptom-free now, thank God. That does not erase all the memories. Go ahead, Toretta.
That was me, Marion. I said, thank God that you're symptom. Yeah, what? Thank God that you're symptom-free. I thank God that you're symptom-free.
Oh, I am. But my point is that I remember all of this very, very well.
I'm sure you do.
Oh, I do. And I can relate to what this man is saying. Yeah, well, how do you guys feel about that? Can you relate as well?
I can.
All right. Tell us about it.
I'm dealing with, they call it spasticity right now, and that's why I'm going to have this test done on Thursday. So
Marion, I need you to speak up. I can't hear you well.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay,
right.
I said I'm dealing with spasticity right now, what they call spasticity, and that's why I'm going to have this faculty test done on Thursday. Because I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I wish it on Satan, but anybody else, right. Unless you dealt with it, then you don't quite understand. So this ain't no joke.
No.
And I feel it in my feet, my toes, and my legs. Okay, so yes, mainly my feet. My feet are swollen too. So that's it's horrible. I think that's one of the worst things that anybody can deal with.
Yeah.
By any chance, have they prescribed you any diuretics to help the swelling? Because that's what they did for me.
Yeah, earlier, but it wasn't working for me. So, but they said that this Baclofen, when it goes into your spine, then that's supposed to help get rid of it a whole lot, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Yes, I am. Real soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how does this affect how other people relate? In other words, like Devin, he uses the beach as an example. We don't all have beaches, but, just going out or just hanging out or, inviting you to go somewhere or, be with other people. Are you feeling that sense of isolation that he's talking about?
Yeah, I'm writing a book right now. In fact, I put that in a book about isolation, so now isolation. Yep.
You are. Good for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is my first book came out in 2012. Now I'm writing another one. So
good.
Yeah.
Good for you. And what are you saying? What are you saying? How do you perceive this? What's your angle on this, Marion?
Well, that's that. You're left out of. I feel left out of a lot of things, and then sometimes I don't want to go different places because, it's like, to me, it's like a hindrance to somebody at times,
right.
Oh, I got to look out for you now. And, I'm grateful for people looking out for me, but at the same time, I want to be able to do a lot of things for myself. I don't want to have to say, she can't, so we're going to, I want to do stuff for myself. My daddy taught me to be independent, and that's one of the good things, but it's not so good sometimes. So, yeah, that's horrible. You feel I feel isolated a lot of times because go ahead.
I was just going to along that line. You feel isolated sometimes, and that's the crux of the topic here. But how do they treat you? They meaning anybody and everybody along what we're talking about. Do they are they kind? Or are they kind of disgusted, like, oh, Marion, here we go again, and make you feel small?
Well, you know what? Most people are very kind. Most people are. They're very kind to me. But there's sometimes family members, the ones that family members are the ones that do it different, I should say. And that's the ones I don't want to be around most of the time, some of them. Like, for example, we're getting ready to have our family reunion, and it's going to be in Atlanta. So we were having, my aunt died, and we just had a repast. This was like 2 Saturdays ago. And so anyway, one of my family members is over it, and I told her that I wouldn't, because they had a meeting at the repast, or anyway, I told her, I said, well, I'm not coming. She said, well, what's wrong with you now? I was like, instead of saying, oh,
are you serious?
Yeah, she said, what's wrong with you now?
Oh.
I was like, okay. So I wanted to almost pop her in the head, and I told her, I said, you know what? I'm going to take care of myself, because I said I got to have surgery. Oh, what's wrong with you now? I was like, I'm having surgery, and, I'm going to take care of me. Everybody else that's going to be there are going to be getting around perfectly. I said, and me, anyway, I didn't go into it because it was at the repast, but this is what I was thinking. And she goes, said, what's wrong with you now? And I was like, okay, so, what you reap was, so I'm not wishing no bad on her at all. But it's going to haunt her. You watch and see. It's going to haunt her. It'll come back to her. So, anyway, some people have compassion, some don't.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. Marion.
That's okay. Thank you.
Well, yeah, but I think we can all relate. And, as I was reading the article, and you all heard it too, he really brings us to the point that we're talking about now, where, it's kind of like the space around you, the room, in theory gets smaller and smaller, closing in until there's really kind of a vacuum. There you sit, in a vacuum, in your pool of quicksand along with it. Oh gosh, that doesn't sound good, does it? But boy, I can really go along, and it goes back to this human nature thing we're always talking about, and I can equate it. We can equate it with many different things. For example, we can equate it to anything, but it's kind of like you don't appreciate what you have until it's gone. Whether it's, we're talking about, your health, or you mentioned your spasticity, and, some of us can relate and some of us can't, but we get it, Marion. Oh, we all get it.
Yeah.
Because it's, spasticity or something else, it can really get in there and do a number on your life. And trying to get people to understand. What does he say here? Yeah, the one thing he wished that we have more of would be understanding, and he just touched on that. And it's sort of like hitting the third rail. Like, here we go again. One of these forbidden topics, but it's true, because there is not enough understanding. And I wished he'd taken it a little further, but I know why he didn't, because it hurt too much. And to talk about it, and he didn't know quite how. I kind of read it. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, Devin. I'm really not, or words on your paper. I'm not. But that's my interpretation of it. I see it, and he ended it. He ended the article on a good note with that. But I see where he just did not want to go there, probably for multiple reasons. And I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
You too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do you say to people like that? You're writing a book on this, for goodness sakes. What do you say to people like this?
Well, you tell them where to get off at. You don't curse them out or nothing like that. I don't use profanity at all. But I can go and tell her about some things that I know about her, okay? And I'm not going to throw into her health, and, her children, what her children do and all that kind of stuff. But I could, but I just... I pray about it and leave it alone. Put it in God's hands. That's what you do. You put it in God's hands and don't take it out, because when you take it out, you done messed up. So talk to God about it, and He'll fix it for you.
How do we deal with this alone feeling? It's like life is backed us or painted us into a corner with this. He says it. I've felt it. You've felt it. We've all felt it. Where, you just have this feeling of like this. And I missed who that was. Was it your aunt or your cousin? Said, "What's wrong with you now?" And it's that's sort of like, oh no, here we go. And how do you even want to approach that? You can't. But it's painted you into a corner. So how do you deal with that loneliness, that isolation? Because that's what it is. And it's like we're saying in the lead up to this article, it's the little things that count, and it's the little things that add up to become the big things, and that cuts both ways in life. It cuts both ways. Number one, talking about these little things like, little remarks, which really aren't so little, like the one that was spoken to you,
Right.
Or we can go the other way and say, look at, the only way we're going to improve our lives, improve our lot, however that is, however we want to approach it, is one baby step at a time, one foot in front of the other, which will eventually lead up to a giant leap, and we will look back in the future and say, oh my goodness, look at all of those little bitty baby steps added up to a giant leap. Holy cow, look at the wonderful progress I've made. So it can go to the good or it can go to the negative. We all know that. But the thing of it is this negative garbage is so out of control. And it will have, this emotional knee-jerk reaction on us. Heck, we're human after all. And, our emotional reaction is hurt. I mean, it cuts hard. It's like they've got their knives out, and whether they're aware of it or not, I don't know. Some are, some aren't. But how do we deal with it? And I agree with you, Marion. We need to take it to, a higher level. We need to take it to a higher, and we need to try to rise above it. Now, I am not saying become passive at all. I am not saying become passive, but I think we have to rise in our thinking, in our spiritual nature, to a height above it. Not that we're above it all. Yeah, not superior to, above it. You want to elaborate? Help me out here. I'm in the deep end of the pool again.
Yeah, I think that when we pray about it and give it to God, then let God handle it. Let God fix it. Don't try to fix it yourself, because you try to fix it, we're gonna mess up, okay?
Right.
But God don't make no mistakes, none whatsoever. So, like, I was talking to one of my sisters the other day, and she said, she was dealing with, like her son is the one who injured himself with that playing basketball.
Oh, yeah.
She said, you know what, like you always say, I'm going to pray about it. I said, yeah, I pray about it. She said, that's what you always say. I said, yep, that's what I'm going to say, and that's what I'm going to do. Pray about it. Put it in God's hands and leave it alone. Because she was having a problem with some of her family members and, was talking to me about it. I was like, well, turn it over to Jesus. Talk to God about it. And leave it alone. Let God handle it. So that's the way I do it. And with me, if somebody says something dumb to me, what I think is dumb, then, I pray about it. I pray for them too, okay? That's how you do it. And go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I just want to interject this before I forget it. Yes, I agree with you 100%. However, I think there's a fine line, Marion, not to discredit anything you're saying. I agree with you 100%. But there's this old saying, trust in God, but tie up your horse.
Right. Yeah.
Tie up your horse. So yeah,
stay away from them. Stay away from them.
Well,
thank
stay
God
away from them, but also, we
have
to deal with it. Is what I mean that too. We cannot walk away, and I'm not suggesting that's what you're saying. Not at all. I'm simply taking that as the parallel to what you're saying. So we cannot be completely passive about it. But how do we deal with it? You're in the room or on the phone with this person. And when you were describing it, and I'm sure everybody listening to this is doing the same thing. If that were me, and I was confronted with that person saying, "What's wrong with you now?" Hey, it's happened to all of us, one degree or another. Maybe not the exact same words, but almost. And what do you do with these people? I think the first thing you have to do is quickly analyze the person that, is throwing these sharp knives at you. That's what I think. And, analyze who they are, where you think they're coming from, and also what they're saying. And, consider the source, they say.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a critical way, but in an analytical way. And really, take a good long look at it in that regard. And yes, absolutely turn it over to God. But we live here. We've got to deal with that person. We've got to deal with those words, because words are things. Words have meaning. And this is where people fail miserably. It is the words that we choose, the words that we use, along with our tone and our voice. Oh, yeah. But it is the words that we choose. Because the words can either kill you, they can make you drop dead on the spot, or they can heal and produce miracles. And so you've got to see, who is that person saying this mean stuff to me? Why? Did she mean to hurt me? Gee, I'm not sure. But that doesn't matter. The words are out, and you can't put the genie back in the bottle. You cannot unscramble an egg.
Right.
And you can never take it back. Go ahead.
That's right. I think that this person, because I know her character, and I know how she functions, okay? So did I expect her to say that at the time? No, I didn't, but I know that's her. She's always like that, so it don't surprise me none. It really didn't surprise me when she said what she said. So, like I said, I pray for her, still love her to pieces, but hey, and then I thank God for call ID. So when she called my house, then I just, that's her again. I ain't answering it. Just ignore her.
Yeah.
Thank God for call ID.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all know where you're coming from, because why deal with it? But this is a widespread problem it's a rejection of sorts. And how many times have we taken the same kind of analogy down to a grassroots level, no pun intended, when I now switch to talking about the herd mentality, herd, H-E-R-D, herd mentality. And we see it in nature all the time, all over the place, whether you're talking about, a herd of buffalo or a herd of cows, or, even a clutch of chickens, which they call them a clutch of, chickens or geese or whatever, it's all the same in nature. And in nature, and with people too, it is the survival of the fittest, unfortunately. But that's just the way it is. And I think this, Marion, this may be sort of an instinctive, undercover, hidden from view, knee-jerk instinctive reaction that humans have, that some people have never gotten over. They've never gotten past in their spiritual development. You were saying this person. Well, as you were saying that, I assumed that also to mean that you knew what their true character was like, meaning their true colors. Their true colors. Yeah. Because true colors come out, don't they? Yeah.
Mhm. It didn't surprise me. It really didn't surprise me when she said what she said. I was not surprised at all.
Mhm.
Because I know her character.
And so basically what she's about. And I think, and this is really where I was taking it, you guys, where Marion's brought us to this, because it's all about perspective. Now, let me just go back for a minute on the herd, H-E-R-D, herd mentality. It's just a thing, with life on Earth, all life on Earth, and the survival of the fittest. And we see it everywhere from, the wild jungle animals, whether it's lions, tigers, bears, or elephants, right up to the most sophisticated, if you can call them that, people in New York City. We're all basically animals. We are, and we all are born with that instinct, and we see it all around us. We're not really aware of it maybe in that context, the survival of the fittest kind of a thing. But how about this? Put this together with this meaning, because we see it every day, all day long. Me, 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 right? It's all about me. We see it everywhere. We see it in the advertising around us. We see it, in the way people dress, the way they walk, and, of course, the way they speak and the way they speak to other people. We see, recently I read an article. I was horrified, and I just this is unrelated to what we're talking about, except in the context of survival of the fittest, where, this group of sophisticated people were treating this poor elderly 94-year-old woman who was clearly having dementia problems, bless her heart. But it was how they treated her and what they did, and it came down to actual physical abuse. And it was, the story, it's unrelated really to what I happened to stumble across. But I thought about this, and I thought, here you have the younger, the middle-aged people treating who should be who is the most vulnerable. They're like children, of course. And it is the children of our society and cultures, and the elderly of our societies and cultures. No matter where you are in the world, they are the most delicate, the weakest, and the most vulnerable, and they cry for our care. They need our care first and foremost above everybody else. So in this particular case, it was, they were really picking on this lady. I'll tell you real quick what happened, because I can hear the question marks bouncing off the ceiling. What is this all about? Basically, in a nutshell, this soon-to-be 94-year-old lady was living in some kind of some kind of an apartment complex or something, and clearly, bless her, she was having, confusion and mental issues. So she didn't pay the rent or forgot to pay the rent, and she wanted to only pay half the rent. It was a money issue. Well, the people there who run that outfit said, "Oh, really? We'll show you." You know what they did? You know what they did? They called the police.
Oh.
This was in this country. This was in the United States. And I honestly don't remember where or anything more about it. But this was in the great U.S. of A. Make America great again, right? And they threw the handcuffs on her, and they put her in an orange jumpsuit, and they hauled her off to the clink.
Oh, are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
No, I'm not. And it took other people to step up and say, "What?"
Yeah. There's probably all the prisoners in there saying, "What the heck are you doing to this lady?"
Oh, she was all bruised up and banged up by the time they took in handcuffs.
Oh.
Wow.
My
that
point
is
exactly.
Just atrocious.
Yeah. So this is where we're going. This is what, it may seem like such an innocuous, even unimportant yawn kind of subject we're on, but it's not. Because it leads to crap like that. Pardon my French. It leads to crap like that. It does. It does.
Pardon my French, though. I say crap 5 times a day, maybe even 10.
Hey, that's my favorite 4-letter word today. I'm so good with those 4-letter words today. No, seriously. But this is the ignition. This is the point of ignition. It's very important. And I know it seems boring. It's like, so what? No,
that's not boring.
No. You know what I mean. Insignificant. You know what I mean. There's so much greater going on in the world. Yeah, but not really. Because look what it leads to. It leads to this very articulate man whom we love to read his stuff, Devin Garlit. We love you, man. But he has trouble, I could tell. That's my take on it. He had trouble wanting to write more about needing understanding. Meaning collectively, all of us. And he's right. He's 100% right. Because this is where it goes, and this is the ignition point. People call it these days, they call it triggering. I don't like that. I just don't like that as a blanket term. But this is the triggering. This is the jumping off point. This is where the rubber meets the road to the wrong side of the tracks, in my opinion. What do you think, Virginia? What are you getting out of all of this today?
Well, I think, just what you're speaking about now, I mean, that's horrific. The story about the lady that, why can't people have more patience and more, they just jump from, I'm okay, I'm having a great day. They lunge from that to anger.
Yes.
It's just right from calm to anger.
You're right.
And that's really a sad thing, And I think it says more about them than it does the person that's supposedly done these terrible things.
Say that again. That is the entire point, right there.
Yeah.
What did you just say? It says
I
more
said
about
it says
them.
more. Oh, now I'm trying to remember what I said.
That's what you said.
It says more about the people, that are being very angry than the ones that dearly need help.
Yeah, or that lady, the victim in that case. I mean, clearly the poor. Oh, and to see the picture of her, she was so frail.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's just a tiny little thing. Mm-hmm. And here are these big cops. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was just so.
The police, actually.
Yeah. Uniforms, badges, and everything. They even had billy clubs, on their.
Put her in handcuffs and took her away.
They put her in an orange jumpsuit, and off she went to jail.
Oh, wow.
Oh. But strange.
Really?
She had no family.
Really?
Yes.
Like,
really.
That's just ridiculous.
She had a daughter in another part of the country. I think it was New England, if I remember, where the daughter was. The daughter was 70 years old. She had one child, and that was the only relative she had left living in this world. Mm-hmm. And they did get a hold of the daughter. I don't know anything about the story ended right there, but I know that people like you and me got together and they put up. I think it was something. I don't think it was GoFundMe, but it was something like that, so that they could pay her rent or do something on that. But where it went from there, I don't know. I mean, the story ended, and it was news.
But they were trying to pay her rent.
I think they did. They gave her financial aid from somewhere. They got together and passed the cup, so to speak, and it was like a GoFundMe, and maybe it was. I don't quote me on that, but it was something akin to that. Yeah. So they did collect something to help her out. But beyond that,
but she wasn't. She was probably not supposed to be where she was.
I don't know.
At that time, she probably needed. To be somewhere that was more appropriate for her.
Oh, I see, like assisted living or something.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. She'd crossed the line, to where she needed help of sorts.
Yeah.
Medical, and something
Isn't
like
that
the elderly, for crying out loud.
It just 94. Disgusts me. When I hear stories like that.
I know.
Oh.
I know. I was beyond horrified, and I don't know the little lady. I didn't know her name. They might have been in there, but I don't remember if it was. And I just shot some prayers, for her, wherever she is, and whoever she is, because this is how it starts, though, Virginia. You see, this is how it starts. It's okay to leave Devin out. Yeah. It's okay to insult Marion. It's okay to turn your back on Virginia or Toretta or anybody. It's okay. If you do it once, you're going to do it twice. Then it becomes a habit. You again? What's wrong with you this time?
Yeah. Oh, God. You know what? And I worry, and maybe I worry that someday that will be me.
I can understand that.
And that they will be treating me that way. I mean, we really have to think about where society's going and how mean people can be. You hear about it all the time.
Yeah, you do. More and more. More and more.
But one thing about it is you reap what you sow. We don't want to cause any problems, but God said, vengeance is mine, said the Lord, I will repay. And he said we all going to reap what we sow. When we do good, good coming back. When you do bad, the ugly coming back. Okay? It's going to be worse. It's better when you do good and worse when you do bad.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I believe what God said, and every word God says is true. So do I want anything to happen to her or anybody bad? Nope. But God don't lie. He said His word would not return to Him void. So that's what God says.
But in the meantime, you, as Marion, and there are thousands of Marions like you going through their own thing. You have to protect you have to put your armor up, so to speak. You can't let her just keep taking sucker punches at you and knocking you to the floor until you're bruised and bloodied like that poor 94-year-old lady, and that's my point. I don't know exactly how we're going to nip it in the bud there. What you're talking about, absolutely. But once again, trust in God, but tie up your horse. You got to do something. You have to take some little action, whether it's words back at that person or whether it's just walking out of the room. I don't know. Every case is different. Every situation's a little different. Maybe you want to go up and slap them upside of the head, because they certainly deserve it. I don't know. But, we have to take action. Go ahead.
Yeah, almost all of the family members that I've talked to, not necessarily about what she said to me, but just about all the family members that I've talked to, they said they're not going. They don't like what's going on with, and then we're all in Indiana. You're going to have it in Georgia? Come on now. We don't have a lot of family in Georgia. We do have some, but not very, very. I can count on two hands how many people, relatives we have in Georgia, okay? And most of them are children, so they're not responsible. So anyway, the family voted. They voted Georgia. I wasn't there, which I had left when they did the voting, which I knew about. I could have been included, but anyway, I didn't care about where it's at. But you're not going to talk to me any kind of way, and then I'm going. No, I ain't going. Nope.
Yeah,
won't be there.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people have told me they're not going because of different reasons. So, when you have somebody that you're dealing with that think they're high and mighty, higher than you, better than you, then things like that happen, okay?
Right.
When they think they got so much class because of their status and things like that happen. So it didn't surprise me at all because I've been knowing her all her life. I'm older than her, so I've been knowing her all her life.
Yeah, you've got a very good perspective on it, and that is what it is perspective, because what have we talked about, a gazillion times? The only thing that we own in this life, that we truly own, that is ours, is what? Our will.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I didn't know you were talking about
everything else can be taken away, and this is what people like that, Marion, fail miserably to realize.
Yeah.
They fail miserably to realize that, and whether it's, you mentioned status, or maybe it's material things, or whatever the case may be, doesn't matter. It can all go away that quick.
That's right.
Quick. Blink of an eye quick.
I often think, my biggest fear is that someday I'll be in a senior's home and somebody's going to abuse me, because it's happening all of the time.
Yeah, I know.
And I worry about that. And I just have the answer, though.
Good.
Well, I just thought, instead of them banging me around, maybe I could just scratch the heck out of myself, like my face and my arms, and then I just make it look like they did it to me, right? And then my son would just have to take me out of there, right? If I did that.
We don't want you there in the first place.
Pardon?
We don't want you there in the first place.
Well, if I need to be there, you know what I mean? Like if I really need to be there, then I'd rather scratch myself.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't hurt myself to try to help myself. I wouldn't do that.
Oh, it's just if I was desperate to get out of there, I would scratch myself. Yeah.
And have somebody else blamed for something that you did, and they'd be looking at somebody else.
That's okay. If I was being badly treated, that's what I mean. If I was really badly treated, then, and I needed a way out, I would do that. And my son would come and look at me and say, "What have you done to her?" And he'd take me out.
Okay.
and I would be where I should be.
where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
Although I don't agree with your analogy, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And I think.
Well, that's I
understand where you're coming from. I do.
That's me helping me. I would rather scratch myself up and look really awful than to have somebody, I don't know, have somebody treat me really bad or hit me or whatever. It depends on what the situation is. Like, I know I've heard a lot of stories about things that go on in seniors' homes,
Yeah.
One thing, if the some of the abuse, I think, is caused because the senior is not able to express herself, or she doesn't have the mentality, or she's senile.
Yeah.
And so they take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Situation.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a very good point. But both of you guys, this is great because it's piquing the analogy that we were talking about and that Marion's brought up. And this is where it leads. See, this is where it's an escalation. It is an ignition. The ignition is the spark that lights the fire, that builds the bonfire, that becomes the conflagration out of control worldwide. And that's what we have. And it's this same mentality right up to what you both are talking about here. But it starts with that unkind word, see? And that person's getting away with it. And they do.
And would you want to be around somebody that has that character, that speaks like that? Okay. Would you really want to be? No, I don't even want to be around somebody like that. Okay, why?
Well, people are so often mistreated.
Yeah.
Really badly mistreated.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about.
I know you are. And what we're all talking about here, important to get the full picture, is that when these people, the high and mighty, we'll call them the high and mighty people, okay? When the high and mighty people want to prove how high and mighty they are, that is the point. We have to look and recognize who they really are. They are members of the herd mentality. They are part of the herd that says, you're no good. I'm kicking you out of the herd. I don't like the way you talk. I don't like the way you're having spasms in your legs. Gee, you're falling down a lot. I'm kicking you out. It shows, like we've been pointing out, who they really are. And they use the high and mighty as a disguise and an excuse. See where I'm going? So they show who they really are. They take the mask off. They take their mask off.
Like the Bible says, what's in you going to come out of you, okay? You had it for so long, but it's going to eventually come out.
Right. Two colors.
Oh, yeah.
Two colors. And I think if we have that perspective, and it smarts, doesn't it? I don't like it either. I don't like. But it's the truth. It's the truth. And the truth has been lost in so much of our daily life. And so much of it is the perception of the truth, but the actual raw, get down in the trenches, meat and potatoes of it all, truth. And it comes out.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Well, I can't believe an hour's gone by, but this is
it's gone by. Wow.
This has turned into a very serious topic, and I think this is the thing that we've really got to realize out of this. And it's not just not getting an invitation and getting your feelings hurt or anything superficial. Not that this is super. It's not. But you see where I am. It goes to, it speaks and addresses a much deeper issue about human nature and where we are as cultures and societies worldwide. People, what is the song? People are people wherever you go, and that's true. So and these problems, and they are problems, are problems of the same nature wherever you go, whether you're in the wilds of Timbuktu or the wilds of Fifth Avenue in New York City. It doesn't matter. People are people wherever you go. And we need to get savvy. We need to wise up. We need to smarten up. And we are.
Do you want to hear some good news?
Yes.
Lexi's coming to see me next week.
Oh, he's what?
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Oh. Is she coming to the house?
Yeah. Yeah. She's flying out west to see her sister for a week, and then she's coming back. And
Virginia.
I can just hardly wait. Yeah.
Oh,
wonderful.
That's great.
Yeah. I just, that was my one wish, my one wish that she would come and see me again.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all I kept. I'd see her picture, and I'd see the note that she left me on the chalkboard, and I'd think, please, bring her back. And she's coming to see me. Oh.
What a beautiful thing. And how long will she stay?
I don't know. I guess, she lives probably, I'd say maybe 20 miles from us.
Oh, that's not far.
That's not far at all. Excuse
me. Gosh.
Yeah. So, and she has a job,
so she is coming to. I understand.
Coming to visit us. Yeah.
Oh, you've got to let us know. Now, when is she coming? When is the exact date she's coming?
I don't know, because she talked to Ray. And men.
Yeah.
He got zero information.
Yeah, okay, we'll see you whenever. Yeah,
bye.
Yeah. Bring pizza. Yeah.
Yeah.
No anchovies. Yeah, I know all about it.
So I have no idea what day it is. I just have to keep the house clean long enough.
What a beautiful thing. Oh, you've got to keep us posted. Please. Yeah. All right.
I'm beyond excited. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Prayers get answered. They really do.
Yes, they do.
Sure do. Well, all right. We're going to have to wrap it up, guys. Boy, I hate to do that, but what a conversation today. Wow. Woo, Kevin, you lit the match today, didn't you? I said Kevin. I meant Devin. Kevin.
He knows.
Kevin. Yeah. Is that a brother named Kevin? I don't know. And does anybody want to throw in their last minute 2 cents on this subject before we move to the prayer portion of the call?
Not on the subject, but I was just going to say that I did Google Pender Harbor, and it's not on the island. It's on what they call the Sunshine Coast, which is the outer coast of BC. So it's on the mainland.
Okay.
And that's actually, where the fire is?
That's where the fire is.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my.
And actually, Pender Harbor, another town nearby, is called Gibson's Landing. And I have my second cousins. One of them has 2 children there, and one has 1 child there. So I actually have relatives very close to that fire. So I'm going to have to check on Facebook and see if anything has been said.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, keep us posted, Heather. Yeah. We will keep them in prayer, too, and make sure everybody's all right. All right. Is there anything else before we move on?
No.
Okay. All right. What we're going to do now is we're going to move into the prayer portion of our call. And for those who are listening maybe for the first time or who don't know what I'm talking about, we always end every Heart Talk call with a prayer. We're going to have a prayer and then read the names on our prayer list. And by the way, before we go further, do we have any other names? We've already taken 2 new names on the prayer list.
Yes.
Is there anybody else today?
Yes. King, Superintendent King.
Oh, I cannot hear you, Heather. Speak up.
No, it's Marion.
Sorry. Superintendent King, he is about 80 years old, and he's having some medical problems, pneumonia.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What's his name?
King, last name King. He's a superintendent of our jurisdiction here in Indiana. So.
All right. Should I call him Superintendent King or Mr. King?
Oh, you can say either.
All right. All right, Mr. King. Okay. All right. All right. Mr. King is now on the prayer list. Is there anybody else new names on the prayer list this week? Okay, so for this week we have Laurence, Darius, and Mr. King. Okay.
Yes.
All right, let me just finish explaining to people, what we're doing and why. We want to say thank you for bringing us together. This was no accident. For those of you who may not know or might be listening for the very first time, this Heart Talk call was no accident, and this has just been brought together, probably with a little more than divine influence and interference, if you will, and influence, I should say, and help for sure. And we are so grateful that we are allowed to bring people from all over the world, not just to participate live like we're doing right now, but also people from all over the world listen to us. We want to say hello to everybody on the replay, too. So hi, everybody on the replay. Hope you have enjoyed being with us today as much as we've enjoyed having you. But we want to say thank you specifically to God, to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for bringing us together, for allowing this to be in the first place. Because without that divine intervention, we wouldn't be here. It's just that simple.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm going to now say that we are concluding the editorial commentary portion of our call, and we are now entering into the prayer portion of our call. Is there anybody that would like to offer the closing prayer? And then I will read the names on the prayer list following.
I'll close if nobody.
Okay, if you'd like to close us with a prayer, and then I will follow you with reading the names. Go ahead, please, when you're ready.
Dear Lord, we thank you for bringing us together one more time. We thank you, Lord, because you said where 2 or 3 are gathered together in your name, you're in the midst. Lord, we thank you for being in the midst of us right now. You heard all the names, Lord, the ones that's been on the prayer list before and the ones that's added, Lord. Lord, meet their needs, supply all of their needs according to your riches and glory, and we thank you for doing it right now. Be with us all day long, Lord. Keep us, Lord, over the weekend and throughout. In Jesus' holy name we pray, and we're calling it done. Lord, everybody that's diagnosed with any kind of illness, Lord, erase the illness in Jesus' name. And we thank you for doing it right now. Thank God. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Amen.
You're welcome.
I will now read the names on the prayer list. Donnell, Linda, Sandra, Erica, Shamang, Dyke in Texas, Carlos in Canada, Janet Carroll and family, Tish and Luke Roscams in the UK, Mary Ferris, Jeremy Mann, Julie Perkins, Rashawn Jefferson, Damon Jones, Scotty Williams, Barbara Cleary in the UK, Linda Hawley, Sylvia, Greg Evenson and family, Arthur Marsalis, Veronica Lewis, Tanya Thompson, Kathy Pedrick, Mark, Francine Menkari, Tamala Lewis and family, Michelle, Joe in the UK, Carol in Iowa, Edie in Missouri, Alberta in Kansas, Will in Konachek, Sandra Moen in Canada, Susan, Russ Disdar and family, Donna and Nathan Leal, Kathleen in Boston, Frankie, Melissa, and Destiny in Boston, Tracy Whiting, Clint and Cliff in Kansas, Phyllis in Kansas, Jennifer in the UK, Linda Jean, Sherry Gudgeon, Sabrina Sutton, Tracy Thacker, Melanie Monteith, Edie Neal, Sybil Winham, Manfred Pauli in Venezuela, Donna and son Andrew, Mubin in Cape Town, South Africa, Rona, Noor, Rami, Paris, Mohammed, Jill Hahn, Travis and Ellen Thacker, John, Tommy and family, Dennis Walker, Faye, Maria in South Africa, Jennifer, Charlotte Matrisic, Maria in Nevada, Louise in Alabama, Patty in Alabama, Sybil Wyndham, Gloria, Contessa, Mrs. Disney, Ladios, Dr. Paul Hegstrom, Lorraine, Irene, Lydia, Mike Newcomb, Beverly, Raza, Jason in Florida, Charlene Kelly, Danielle and Faniel in Toronto, Frankie, Robert, Stacy, Judy, Sarah, Ron and Marge, Constance Wadlington, Toretta, Glenda, Larry Nichols, Melanie, Floyd, Amy and Eric Olson, Trudy, Gladys, Gerald Taylor, Diamond, Gregory, Irma, Travis John, Ertis, DeMarcus, Anne, Richard Brezen, Helen, Pearl, Irma, Grace, Rebecca, Linda and Joe in the UK, Dan and Jason Junker, Dion in Michigan, Joshua and Johnny, Kalila, Aralee, the Marsh family, Judy Mullins, the Grant Anderson family, Chad Cowan, Randy Guerra, Barry Wolcott, Tina and CJ, Ray, Mackenzie, Deborah, Sally, Joe and family, Gina, Mary in Alaska, Veronica Thomas, Karen in Seattle, Michael Freeman, Megan, Trudy, Jeremiah Mask, Grenadi in Russia, Jeff Olson, Kelly in Texas, Jennifer in Kansas, Geneva Norris, Latasha Coleman, Seth Thomas, Jim Thomas and family, Tanisha Washington, Cindy, Guillermo, Eula Cooper, Robert Alexander, Leo Torres, Chris Elias, Jeff London, Jared and John Chambers and family, Eddie Tiny, Leslie Cavazos, Ryan Cadillo, Aaron Marsh, Jimmy in the UK, Valerie and Hillary Perry, Blanche Collins, Flick Mays, Michael Kuhlman, the Pope family, the Baldonado family, Mary Jo in Fargo, Danielle Duran, Dr. Marty Sanders, the Hargrave crew, Lena Davis family, Sharon in London, Billy Medlock, Lola Striggles, Rondella Canida, Dame McCartney and family, Shay Standifer and family, Nicole, Billy Coleman, Rita Nixon, James Grace, Alton Johnson, the Johnson family, Tracy and Alice Daniels, the Elias family, Arlen, Kathy and Al Matthews, Deborah Yars DiLorenzo, Chadrick Watson, Kevin Giles, Eric, the Collins family, the Johnson family, Trevia Powell Clark and family, Ray LaBelle, Tony Delsey, Edward McFarland, Seth, Malaya Marnie Horton Fisher, Abe Martinez, Roscoe, Hattie Battle, Alberta and Chuck, Isabel, Enoch Bryant, Sister Wanda Burke, Anthony Canida, Trinity Johnson, Curtis Warren, Susan Trotter, Rhonda Pryor, Wanda Burke, James Washington, Enoch Bryant's family, Aretha McKinney, Lee Pittman, Blessed Hartabin, Andre Giles, Penny, Bonnie, Loretta, Ray Charles, Wayne Jones Jr., Kadisha Cooper, Becky and family, Ashia and Kanisha Morrison, Jeff Olson family, the Sybil Morrison family, Trelina Hope, the Gafford family, Emily Aguilar and family, Shaladra Kelly, Ann Downs, Irvin Gudgeon, Latosha Coleman, Jackie Clark, Don Orth, Jason Kirkaby, Denise Doobie, Ms. Stapleton, Moody family. And Father, these are the names of the young children who perished in the apartment complex fire not long ago in Chicago. Adrian Hernandez, age 14. Ariel Garcia, age 5. Xavier Contreras, age 11. Nathan Contreras, age 11. Cesar Contreras, age 14. Maya Alvarez, age 3 months. Lonnie Ayaya, age 3. Graylani Ayaya, age 5. Giovanni Ayaya, age 10. Victor Mendoza, age 16. Ricky, LaRotha, Paula, Netta, the Flores family. Rose Cummins, Val Hayward, the May family. Zefonso Davis, Michelle, Mac, Taylor, Ray, Allen, Willie Alton, Asila Freeman, Johnny Blair Jr., Alicia, the Berguano family, Lake of Stamford, Kashari Warren, Christopher Anders, May Thomas, Kali Parson, Lisa Abe, Joe Moore Sr., Joshua Judkin, Rachel, Dylan, Wanda, Gordon Biffle, Demarion Coleman, Mary Cox, Beth, Megan, Zachary, Stephanie, and Tevin Giles, Eileen Matthews family, Crawford family, Veronica Enriquez, Dante, Marche, Emerson, Pryor, Leon, Nikki, Roy Collins, Steve LaFever, the Moody family, the Sanders family, Hezekiah, Metty Lisa Hagenhagen, Jamie Kloss family, Shaney, Susie Walker, Jackie McDonald, Letitia, Joan Ruffey, Shawnee, Marie, Michael, Letitia, Elizabeth, Judy Thomas, Belinda Prather, the Bailiff family, Burefriend family, Ray Charles Davis, Aretha Davis, Arletha McKinney, Alberto Martinez, Sheila DeLauder, Marion, the Parker family, Byron, Levy Jester and family, Hearn family, Jimmy Sims, Roberta Weirman, Johnny Ramirez Jr., Laura Stiles family, Terry Mabin, Raymond Nept, Hal Turner and family, Eliza Ruth Love, Michela, the class of Franklin Public School 2019, Sonia Fitzgerald and family, Patricia Johnson, the McNair family, Gerald Ray, Mabin and Jackson family, Thomas and Hall family, Dylan and family, Laurence, Darius, and Mr. King. And I will leave you with this. Lord, help me to remember that nothing is going to happen to me today that you and I can't handle. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
And guys, I can't believe an hour went by that quick. You blink your eyes and it's time to start. You blink your eyes and it's time to hit the end record button again. It's just crazy, isn't it? But what a world we live in. Changing, huh? By the day, by the hour sometimes. Ah, yes. I believe we're living in the end times.
Me too.
I know. I'm so glad we are able to get together like this and have these wonderful exchanges, these wonderful conversations and talks. I don't know about you, but it means a lot to me. It really does.
Oh, yeah.
It's fuel for me. It's fuel for the heart. Fuel for my soul. It really is. Hearing the sounds of your voices and hearing what's on your mind, hearing what's going on in your life, I love it. And, yeah, there's nothing like it. I think there's only one Heart Talk, and I know God gave it to us, and we're so thankful.
All right.
So what I'm going to do is if you guys want to hang out, if you want to stay and talk and visit, I'm going to cut the record button right now. But I'm going to go. I'm going to work on the record, take a 5-minute break, and work on the replay. So I've got that. But just want to tell you before I go, you know how much I love each and every one of you, and you are in my thoughts. Thank you. Thoughts and prayers, and you know that'll never change. So hang out. Stay on for as long as you like. I'm going to leave that part of the line open. Do you guys do that? Do you stay behind and chit-chat a little bit after I'm gone?
Sometimes, but I can't do it.
Good.
Yeah, we can't do it today.
All right, whatever you say you can or you can't?
We can't.
Oh, okay, I understand. Well, let me hit the stop record button. 1 sec.
Okay.
Hello. This is Sherry. I've got to get my lunch, diabetic.
Okay,
so
anyway, the minute I hang up, it'll stop recording anyway. But anyway, I'm going to say goodbye. You guys hang out, do it for as long as you want, and I will see you next time right back here next week, okay?
Have a blessed day,
See you later.
everybody.
All right,
Talk to
bye-bye.
you next week.
Yep, okay. Bye.